So hello everybody, and today this is as you can see it is a Messerschmitt Me109G-2 from Trumpeter in 1/24 scale, and it's a big box as you can see, and yeah, so this is according to ScaleMates on the online, this is a 2001 kit, and for me this was pretty much an impulse buy because I don't normally buy kits this big, but I took a chance on this one, and so look at a piece of paperwork here, and I bought it from, get the bits of paper correct, I bought it through AliExpress, and it cost me, what is the price? It's not that piece of paper. Lots of bits of paper. It cost me £38. £38 and 33p in total, including postage. So the shipping fee on this was £12 and 79p according to this breakdown here. So the kit was just over £25, which is quite cheap for a kit of this size, and that's really why I bought it. For £40, for less than £40 of a kit of this size, I took a chance, because I think they retail normally for over £70-80, probably more, and so I took a chance and bought it, and it arrived eventually, because it came to my home and I wasn't home, so I had to go to the post office. That's beside the point. So as you can see, the box is a bit crushed there, which doesn't bode too well, but hopefully the internals aren't crushed. I did take a look inside, but I haven't opened it, and so before we go inside the box, let's take a look outside the box. So cover art on the front. Oh, before I go there, this is a 2001 release. This is apparently the first initial release of this kit. It's been re-released a couple of times, 3 times, by Trumpeter, and according to ScaleMates, probably some other manufacturers have made a similar, have released this kit, but I didn't read in depth. It's probably just their own kit. I know Airfix have made a Messerschmitt 109 in 1/24 scale, as well as a couple of others. So in fact, they're the only people that I assumed had made a kit of this type, but I was wrong. Anyway, let's take a look at the box of the Trumpeter 1/24 scale Messerschmitt BF109G2. So on the cover you can see a fairly decent painting of the airplane, big number 13 there, and it says on the top here that it's 376 millimeters long with a 411 millimeter wingspan, so just under half a meter. 263 pieces, 12 sprues, 3 rubber tires, 3 pieces of rubber tires. That's it. On this side, we have a picture of it. I was wondering why there's a little diamond square on the top there, but I think you can guess why. It's pictures of the model showing the open engine, so it does have a full engine in there, some metal photo etch parts, tires and so on. Trumpeter there. On this side, can you even see it? Let's zoom out a bit. Basically, can't get it in the box. Basically, it's the cover on that side of the box. Kit number 02406, as you can see there. Let's get to the other side. Another painting of the vehicle sideways, and some information about the airplane. So they can read it there. So let's get it, try to get it so it counts the reflection. So if you want to read it, pause and read it if you want. Basically, during the springs and summer of 1942, they moved to the Me109G series. And on the other side, same as the other side. So let's open the box and take a look. Right then. So yeah, it's tight. So they have it, big bits of paper, instruction booklet, big decal sheet, colour artwork, and lots of big plastic parts. As you can see, the box is full to the brim. There's no spare room inside. There's another box here with which I assume contains the more delicate parts, including springs, metal shaft and so on. Nose rubber tyre, it says here, even though we know this kit does not have any nose tyres, but I assume them in the tail. Anyway. Right, so before we go there, let's take a quick look at the paperwork. So I'll just put this to the side for the time being. So, 2 languages, English and Chinese, I'm assuming. Tells you things you need to do, including there's this various symbols for the parts, for the actions that you need to perform in building this kit, including sign arc glue. So there's a special symbol for that. Make a hole, add weight, blah blah blah. Don't think we'll need to add weights to this, but you read before assembly, so you can read all that there. So page 2. Has your sprue maps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sprues and 2 sport wedge parts and 4 wedge parts, that they're rubber tyres. Now here it does say tail tyre, so yeah. Alright, so assembly stage 1. So this page has 2 stages, and you putting together the engine. So fairly very well detailed engine, which you'd expect in a kit of this size. And the next page, more engine parts. So just keep on going with the engine. The interesting thing for me about this engine is that unlike the engines that the British and American use, this one's like an upside down engine. So the pistons go down, point downwards to bring up. It's a V12 with the, well, upside down V12, as it, while the British and Americans used a right side up V12. So this could be like an N12 if you like. No. Page 5, got sections 5 and 6, which are you starting on the cockpit. So lots of little pieces to go into there. More cockpit. Oh, not more cockpit. You go back to building some machine guns. So 2 machine gun assemblies, or just 1. So which fit in front of the pilot. So this stage here will be interesting. Mounting the engine onto the front end, onto the bulkhead of the cockpit, and you're putting together the rear tyre as well, and the rear tailplane. Section 11 is, where are we? Section 11, you're starting some internal bits of the inside of the fuselage of the cockpit. 13, you put together the fuselage, so all the bits you've built before you fit into the fuselage there, as well as, so that's the what's this thing called? Some sort of a compressor for the engine. I should know what it's called, but I don't know. 14, engine cover installation. So 3 parts to the engine cover. Underneath there's this plate to fit underneath it. So I'm just giving a quick cursory glance of these things, because you know, if you want to have a good look at what it is, that's what's going on. Just pause the image and take a good look. Interestingly enough, page 10, you've got the undercarriage, which is suspended, so that's what the springs are for. So you've got working suspension on the undercarriage, which is interesting. Left landing flap, right landing flap, so landing flap installation on the wings there. Machine gun assembly, some more machine guns. A warplane does have a lot of machine guns. Lower wing assembly, make 2 of these things, it says there. Doesn't tell you what they are, just round things. Round. Lower wing assembly, continuing, so left aileron and right ailerons. Continue to page 12. You're basically completing the wings and the tail planes. Page 13. More wing assembly, so putting bits onto the wings like the machine guns, front, what is called as front flaps, and more tail plane assembly. Like here, you got a nice close-up of the what the thing should look like. This flap you put on the front, what's it called? Extension or something. So yeah, the technology in aircraft was pretty well advanced even in the early 1940s. So we'll go over to page 14, which is putting more bits on the side of the aircraft, as well as fitting the wings onto the fuselage. Oil cooler cover there. And so page 15, you're doing the more smaller parts that fit onto the aircraft. Drop tank assembly, the propeller, the prop assembly in all its pieces, and then come to section 31, page 15. You put in the landing gear onto the main landing gear onto the aircraft, as well as drop tank. I don't know if it gives you the option to build it landing gear up so you can show it in flight, but there you go. And lastly but not least, putting the cockpit, the canopy onto the cockpit with all the little bits that go inside it. And there you go. So that's the build of this model. Seems fairly straightforward. The instructions are nicely detailed and you can see everything. I like it. It looks like it's going to be a fairly straightforward kit to put together. If it goes together as well as the instructions suggest, then we'll be laughing. More paperwork. So here you got products Aeromaster. So this is a colour guide for the aircraft. Got 2 colour schemes, which are pretty much basically the same scheme, but with a different, well, fairly different. So there's 8 colours for the thing, and down here the so the 3 versions, I guess. Yeah. On the other side, tells you what colours to use. So Model Master acrylics, Model Master 2 enamels, floor quill poly scale military acrylics. I've heard of Model Master, I don't know what these other 2 are. I don't know what this one is, so but hopefully the colours are well titled, so you know what you what colours you're using, so you can use any colour, any manufacturer, as long as it's the right colour, or paint it a totally different colour. It's up to you. Yeah, anyway, decals. So a quick look at what's in here. The sellotape. Big set of decals here. Get you in there. Very shiny, quite glossy. By Trumpeter. These pieces here, well, you can tell what they are. These are for the swastikas, which go on the tail fin. So I assume that makes 1. So there's 2 sets. There's 2 versions. You can see there. So, and they're very thin actually. I'm trying to look at them in the light. They're so thin, these swastikas. They're so thin, these decals. Yeah, I'm surprised at just how thin they are. So almost nothing there. So I've never used a Trumpeter. Oh, I've never built Trumpeter kit, so I don't know what these their decals are like to go on. But hopefully they'll go on fine. Because they're so thin, they should mould nicely into the surface of the model. Anyway, right, let's put this away and let's take a look at what's in the box. What else is in the box? Right, let's how am I going to do this? I'll take everything out of the box. Padding in there to keep stuff safe, I guess. Yeah, that's not good. Anyway, start with a little box. Already warning, precaution, contains small parts suitable for age over 14. So I'm over 14, so I'm okay. Yeah. So let's just fiddle this a bit. There you go. So, yeah, there's metal bits in here, but not like how this thing is deformed. But let's take a look. Oh, no metal bits in here. So what do we have in this little box? Let's make it easy for you to see. So we have clear parts. We have another clear parts. So including, so this piece is broken off that one. Can I see a difference between these two? I personally cannot at first glance. That could be totally wrong. The clarity of this thing isn't perfect. I'm not sure if it's, could use a bit of a polish. Despite being flat surface, there is some looks like scrubbing or not very smoothness on it. But otherwise from that, structurally it looks perfectly good. Then you've got some cockpit parts here in clear. Not sure why they're clear, but let's get really close and look at that. So what they're for, I couldn't say. So yeah, well I know what they're for. The dashboard, the control panels in the cockpit. Why they're clear, of course, is another matter entirely. Let's see if this what it says in here. 124B409G2, the serial number there. So they do appear to be identical. So why you need two sets, I don't know. What else is in here? I've got some left aside. I've these rubber vinyl bits, which I believe include bits for the engine, sort of like piping and stuff, and the little rubber tires. So I'll leave those in the box. Don't need them. Film and bits of metal. PE parts. So yeah, so we've seen those instruction manuals. This is dated 2003. So, and you got some metal rods and a couple of springs. So okay then. So we'll put this all back in the box then, and I'm glad to see that they are not damaged. Well, this has come off, but it isn't damaged. So curious as to why there's two different parts, because they do look identical to me. It's like the same sprue twice. So put them back together and put it away. So anyway, that's the first bit. This little box here. So let's look at some more plastic. So then, in no particular order, we have Sprue G, and this looks like engine cover and some wheel parts. Down into this. So first look, it looks very nice and sharp, very clear. The mouldings are very fine. There's some very fine riveting on the side of the engine cover there. Let's see if I can get it in there. Just see that those little lines there, and it looks every bit as good as I would expect a modern kit to be. So this is dated 2003 on the over there. Sprue G. Okay, and so this is Sprue H1. So you got the propeller blades, some piping, some engine parts, some engine mounts, and tail fins. Two-part tail fin, supercharger, I believe, or supercharger, a machine gun. Again, everything looks very nice and clean and very nicely molded. Very fine parts. So you can see that, which appears to be a grill. You can literally see there's some very fine netting, grill markings on that. Anyway. That is Sprue H1. Next bag contains 2 sprues. Let's look at this one first. So this one is Sprue. This is Sprue D, and you're locking lots of flat pieces, parts of the wings and tail, and the wheel covers. So these bits are the front parts of the wing. I forgot what they're called actually, but I should know by now. And I've got some vents for the transformer for the radiators. Wheel parts there. Undercarriage. So these are a single piece undercarriage with a slide moulding, so moulded into the side, so you've got holes in the side there. Sprue D there. Alongside it we have, which is it, Sprue F. So why F and D are in the same packet, I don't know. This one contains a drop tank, a couple more machine guns, the prop spinner, the little gondolas I think there for the third machine guns, and a couple of other mounting bits. So these bits are the little round bits I mentioned before. Propeller stacks. Yep. All very nice. So again, the moulding is pretty much impeccable. There's zero flash so far in any of the bits I've looked at, so it all looks very nice. Yeah. You know, get them. Just by looking at this, I've got a feeling maybe starting on this kit before I should, even though there's other kits that I've been waiting for quite a while. But anyway, another bag. This one contains 2 sprues as well. Sprue E. Have a good look at that. So Sprue E has the engine, some engine parts, exhaust parts there, which are basically the exhaust in 2 halves, and some more engine bits. And the moulding is pretty impeccable again. The engine looks really nice. I've built model car kits of this same scale, 1/24 scale. They didn't have engines that looked as good as this, so yeah, it's something that one's going to enjoy building. Next sprue, we have Sprue C. The piece is trying to break off. So Sprue C, 34 parts, 1 to 34, just noticed the numbers. Some internal cockpit parts, mostly. Take a good look, pause and have a look, raise it up a little bit. Okay, next sprue is a clear sprue. Let's see if we can get you all in. There you go. So I have a clear sprue. This is surprising to me. I was not expecting this, to be honest. But then the impulse buys, you just bought it because it looked interesting. So this is the fuselage, and it's transparent, mostly transparent. It looks like they just put clear polystyrene into the regular mold, and you end up with a near transparent kit. You've got a satin finish on the sides. Not sure why you'd want a transparent Messerschmitt BF109. But let's see if we can get a good look at that. So it's basically exactly the same. I think it'll be exactly the same as the other one, which is neck sprue along. This top bit here, which is where you put the machine guns. Would you like a transparent see-through model kit? Well, you can have it with this kit. There you go. So that's Sprue. Find the number on it. Sprue A. Sprue A transparent. I'll just keep it off for a moment. Because right next to it we have the not transparent one. So Sprue A in the grey polystyrene. So as I said, I'm assuming that these sprues are the same sprue, but in clear and not in clear. So there it is, Sprue A again, but this time in grey. So interestingly enough, the details are much more easier to see on this thing, on the grey one, the solid one, than they are on the clear one. So the clear one certainly does look interesting. So for example, I was trying to compare those coverings on there. So there you have it. Two identical sprues, one's in clear, one isn't. Totally unexpected there. So I'll put these away and continue. Next, and lastly but not least, massive sprue with wings on it. So you have the underside of the wing, the tops of the wings, and some flaps and ailerons that go on the front and on the backs of the engine. Some internal detailing, which is where the wheels will be, the wheel bear, and a little molded Trumpeter logo there in the wing there. So this is Sprue B, and just the wings. Some very fine detail on there, little rivets and stuff, which are so fine you can't actually feel them, which is interesting. So you run your finger on it, you can't actually feel anything there. So I'm not sure how they did it, but yeah. So it looks like when painting this, if you want to keep the rivets and stuff visible, just use some very thin coats of paint, and hopefully they'll still be visible when you're done. That's very nice. Okay then, so I shall put this back and let's have a final conclusion. Well, not exactly final conclusion. So, final thoughts on this beast. It looks very nice. It looks beautiful. The parts are all beautifully molded, all nice and sharp. The detailing and markings on the parts are very fine and sharp. Everything about it looks nice, and it's quite possible that I'm going to start building this before I finish another kit. So what do I have to say? For the money I paid for it, I think it's a bargain. You know, for less than £40 including shipping, you know, at least a third of that was the shipping cost. It's a bit of a bargain. So if you think you'd like a bit of a bargain, have a look at AliExpress and see if they still have it available somewhere there. Speaking of AliExpress, Alibaba, since getting an account on there to buy some electronic bits for some other kits, I found that well, you can buy anything on there. It is a big marketplace, and kits like this can be available at pretty knockdown prices. surprisingly cheap for what you're getting. Yeah, so this I think was on sale at the time, just when I found it. So if you're lucky, you'll find one that's similarly cheaper or whatever, or you may find some other kits from other brands that are off-brand kits that are copies of other big brand names. I don't know if you should be buying those, but you know, I'm guilty of doing that myself. But this is my first 1/24 scale kit anyway, and as I mentioned earlier, the only reason I bought this thing was because it was in a price bracket that I could afford at the moment. So I'm trying not to buy big expensive kits. Like I've got two that cost me 70 and over £100 each. So I'm trying to keep the prices down. So anyway, that's beside the point. So if you think you'd like to have a look at a fairly very nicely put together kit for cheaps, you know, have a look at Alibaba. If you want to buy it at the full price, support your nearest your local hobby store. If they have it at your hobby store, go and buy it from them. If they don't have it, then have a look at getting it elsewhere, such as online. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the Trumpeter 1/24 scale Messerschmitt 109. If you have any thoughts on this kit, if you've had it, if you built it, let me know down below, and I'll thank you for watching. Yeah, take care everybody.